And hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Nobodies podcast. This is Freddie speaking here, and today we're just with another group of wonderful human beings. So let's see who we got.
Hi, I'm Pete, and what is a good movie?
I'm Sibs, and what's a bad movie?
Oh, hi, Freddie. You're my favorite customer.
But who are you?
Oh, I'm Dale.
And I'm Freddie, and you're going to stand there owning a fireworks stand and tell me you don't have one whistling bunghole, no spleen splitters, whisker biscuits, honey lighters, Husker do's, Husker don'ts, cherry bombs, nips of daisies, with or without the scooter stick, or one single whistling kitty chaser? Let's start the podcast.
God damn. I don't even have a... I don't even have a...
What is that from?
I know what that's from. I just don't. God, good on you for being able to do that so well.
Yeah, wow.
All right. So if you couldn't guess, we're talking about our favorite so bad they're good movies.
Yeah.
Should I start off with, since you don't know what that's from?
I was going to say, you should start it off with that.
That was from the cinematic masterpiece known as Joe Dirt.
That is a great movie.
Yeah.
It is so funny, but it's just so... It's like, what is it? It's so bad.
It's dumb.
It is
what
dumb
it is,
as hell.
But it's so good. Because it's... Like, I feel like what makes it great is because it's dumb, because it's a very human movie.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it.
I guess I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, I never really watched it because it was one of those ones that, like, everyone was quoting and I was so sick of hearing it when it came out. Kind of like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes.
Oh, I hate that movie.
See, I like that movie, too.
Andrew loves that movie. My brother, I should specify.
You know, Joe Dirt is it's about a guy who's like abandoned as a kid. He goes his whole life not knowing his parents, tries to find them. Then he gets like famous, and then his parents just come out of nowhere like, "Oh, we missed you, son." But they're just like horrible people.
Yeah,
that's the end.
That's
like
very simplified.
Yeah.
It's
a very
simplified.
very
Simple, but like the whole thing's being taken place over like a radio show where he's like describing his life.
He's being interviewed, yeah.
And one of the best parts when like, he finds a meteorite.
Oh my god.
Well, it's really just like a big ball of shit from an airplane.
Yeah. Dude, I saw when we went to Comic-Con one year, did you see that guy who was dressed up as Joe Dirt carrying around the wheelbarrow of shit?
No.
Oh my god.
Sure it was the year I was there, because I didn't go to Comic-Con for a while.
Yes, because it was a while ago.
Okay.
It was a long time ago. Like I have a photo. If I can find it, I will give it to you to use for this.
Okay.
It'll be funny.
He's gonna make you remember it whether you want to or not, Fred.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah. That was a good movie.
I love that movie.
Oh, so good.
I think I get that movie confused with Dude, Where's My Car?
That's another one.
It's a very different film.
Very different film. But that's another one that's so bad. It's good.
They just blend together for me. I've never been a fan of, like, the stupid comedy of, like, oh, it's hilarious because they're dumb. I'm just like, eh.
Yeah. So, you know what? Do you want to go with yours right now? Like, since you're going on it?
I actually didn't really have one in particular, but I will say, yeah, the cinematic masterpiece that is The Room.
Oh, I hate that. Like, I was forced to watch that with you
You're
guys.
not supposed to enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's not.
I
it's
enjoy
not
it.
But you enjoy it because it's torture.
Oh, because it's garbage, and I love garbage.
You do. Like, Dale, you have the weirdest affinity to garbage. Like, you love playing terrible games. You love watching terrible movies. Like, do you read terrible books?
No, I don't really read books that often. I listen to audiobooks if I do.
Yeah. Okay.
But are they audiobooks of terrible books?
No, it's mostly like The Witcher and
Okay.
The Laundry Files.
Damn.
Yeah.
All
He,
right.
he
so
was
it only
hoping
extends
he
to
was hoping you
visual.
were going for the trifecta, but clearly not.
No,
It
no.
was. Like, he only goes for visual media. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
It's just, I'm a raccoon that way. I love the trash. Just give me more. I will live in that trash.
God, are you the one who hopped out of the garbage can that night?
Yes, it was actually me. It's been years, but that secret is finally revealed. The raccoon that jumped out of the garbage and made you scream like a girl was me the whole time.
It was you all along.
The longest of cons. But anyway. So yeah, the Room. It's a movie that a friend of mine was like, "You guys have ever heard of The Room?" And we're like, "No." He's like, "We're watching it right now." He had it on DVD and everything.
What
Oh,
the? He
God.
paid for that?
Yeah,
Oh my
he
I
god!
got
think
the
the fir-
DVD.
I think the first time I saw that was when Adult Swim was playing it as an April Fool's prank.
Oh god, yeah, no, I never saw that.
Yeah, that was the first time I saw it. And
I
that
rem-
was
I rem-
like a complete like, what the fuck am I watching?
Like, that was not. They actually did that
Isn't
not
Dragon
long
Ball
after
Z.
you showed it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you showed it to me, like, I think it was literally the following April Fool's Day where they did that.
They
and
did
I
it
was
like 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, then I guess I wasn't present for
No,
the
like the
other
first
two.
time they did it, like that was just what they showed, and then the second time I think they were showing like what was supposed to be like a new episode of like 12-ounce Mouse, and they played like 5 minutes of an episode of a show and then switched it over, and it was like, oh, great joke.
Genius.
And then they did it again like 2 years after that or something like that. It's like their go-to fallback plan for when they can't think of anything else. But it
Put
works.
the room on.
But yeah, it's a great movie for anyone who hasn't seen it, about a love triangle, and everyone has betrayed me for no reason.
For no reasons.
Yeah. And it's really what it comes down to, is like, it's just everyone is betraying him, and it's such a like a self-insert, just the fact that like, yeah, he's the main character, he's the director, he's the everything.
It's his own fanfic to life.
Yeah, and a lot of people do theorize that like something similar happened to him, and it's actually like kind of an autobiography.
So he killed himself? Damn.
Well, yep. And then he came back 3 days later.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it's about this dude who's an incredibly successful banker. And,
I love the question mark at the end.
It's really, I don't think they ever explain. He works with computers or something.
The or
has
something is
money. That's all
probably
you
a
need to
safe
know.
explanation.
Yeah, and yeah, his wonderful girlfriend Lisa starts cheating on him with his best friend Mark, and it's just a disaster. Like at some point,
It's a-
Lisa's mom gets cancer, and then no
Yes.
one ever mentions it again. There's a drug
Like they-
dealer
Yep.
that beats up his pseudo-adopted son.
They use the same scene, the same sex scene multiple times.
Oh yeah, with that.
Not only that, there's
amazing
that
music.
that bridge.
Oh yeah, the bridge shots.
Yeah, the bridge shots. It's
And,
literally just
and it's such a movie that there was a movie made about the
Yes.
making of the movie.
That was probably better than the actual
Oh, so
movie.
by
I
so
still need to
much.
see that.
It's
Oh,
really good.
That's what I hear.
It's great.
The whole scene of them filming the part on the roof. They
What-
have it being filmed like 30 times, however many
God.
takes it took, and they show like little snippets of all the different takes, and it's hysterical. Yeah, the Disaster Artist, best thing ever.
Yeah,
Made by
that's
the
what
guy
it
that
was,
played
yeah.
Mark.
Yup.
Yeah,
Based
'cause
on
he
his
wrote-
book, based on the whole
Oh,
process.
hi, Mark.
Yeah, there's a part where Lisa's mother ended up passing out from heat exhaustion because he took away their AC as punishment for something.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it really paints him as a tremendous asshole.
Which, I mean, I
It-
really wouldn't be surprised if he is.
Isn't this like? Didn't the one of the main actors like halfway through the film just change because they quit?
It wasn't that he quit; he had to film something else.
Oh.
Like
Yeah, it
an
was like- it was the
actual
friend.
something.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was the therapist friend who.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
'Cause
actor was like,
I remember when we watched that, I was so confused. I was like, "Who is this guy?"
Who's this guy who's talking like he's been here the entire time?
and then you're just like, oh yeah, this is his best friend. They had to change actors halfway through it. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, because he was like, I'm scheduled to shoot another movie, and this is taking fucking forever. A lot of people thought he just quit out of, like, this is the worst movie, but no, it was scheduling conflict.
Although the other wouldn't have been
we wouldn't
surprising.
blame him.
Yeah.
We wouldn't blame him.
Yeah, because every character had 2 actors lined up, because for some reason he was treating a movie like a theater production. But yeah.
I mean, you know.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think the guy that played Mark only got the role because his double had to quit. And he was like, I guess I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tommy
great.
Wiseau. Did you ever see his Tommy Wiseau?
I did. Is almost as bad.
Yes.
I couldn't
It's
really
like-
get into it, because at that point he was just self-aware.
Yeah.
But I did watch The House That Drips Blood on Alex, where he plays a guy who buys an apartment, and for some reason blood keeps dripping out of the ceiling. And he keeps... Everyone's like, you bought a house on Blood Street. And he's like, no, it's blued.
Blued.
And then it ends with him going into the attic and finding his own corpse. And then it cuts to a movie theater where 2 girls are watching this movie, and Tommy Wiseau is there with them, and they're like, what the fuck is going on? And then he turns into a skeleton, and they scream and run away. It's great.
It's so stupid.
It's a short. It's like 15 minutes. You can find it
Oh,
on
okay.
YouTube or whatever. It's bad.
I was like, that just seems so complicated for a feature-length film.
No.
So, I want to talk about my favorite terrible movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is a movie that we saw in theaters. I went in not expecting anything. I was like, why are we going to see this? And I came out loving it. And it was Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Oh god, yes.
I love that movie because it's done so fucking well. Like, it's a legit action movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just played off as it's played off as a parody dumb movie, but they went full serious and quality with this movie. I was just like, what are they thinking? How much did they spend on this? They should have known that they're not going to make their money back. Like, it's so dumb. The premise is dumb. The setting is dumb. Everything is dumb. But the movie is so good. It's just so entertaining to watch a badass Abe Lincoln just kick the shit out of vampires. And the setups, the fight scenes, even the ending leading to like the scene just before Abe Lincoln's murder from real life.
Yeah.
They even played into the fact that his son died of a quote-unquote unknown illness. But in the movie, he was killed by one of the vampires. And I was just like, oh my god. Tragedy really is just... I mean, comedy really is just tragedy plus time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because that was this... I was like, what the fuck? Oh my god, this is nuts.
Like, I don't really remember, but I read the book.
There's a book?
Yes.
Yeah, it's based on
Based
book.
on a
Based off
book.
the book.
Oh my god.
So I
It's
guess we know
somewhere
what
in my room.
book Pete's reading next.
I don't read. I'm illiterate. You all know
it's
that.
by the same person that wrote Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Yeah.
Which I think that got a movie too, didn't it?
I
I
think
think it was supposed
so.
to.
Let's
I think they
see.
wanted to. Yeah, my favorite
Yes,
part of that.
it did. 2016.
Okay.
Huh. I think my favorite part of that of Vampire Hunter was the scene with the horses, where they're just riding on a bunch of wild horses, and at some point the vampire just picks one up and throws it at Abe Lincoln.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that scene
I was like,
the CGI in that scene was terrible. Like, the rest of the movie looked pretty good, but that scene in particular, I was just like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
playing horse baseball. What about you?
Horseball.
The scene where he just cuts a tree in half in one swing. It's part of the montage.
I mean, yeah, that's how he was like trained to beat vampires. Is he needs to unleash, he needs to unlimit himself or whatever. needs to find the strength deep down. But like going off of like vampires though, remember when we had Vampires Suck?
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
Who has that movie now?
I think I left it at your house.
No, because the
I know that
for
for a
everyone
fact.
listening, the running joke was Dale bought Vampires Suck.
No, didn't
and
I
we-
get him that for his
or-
birthday?
Yeah, that was
or oh, that's what it was.
or
Okay.
Christmas or something.
Something.
And we watched it, and wherever we watch it, we had to leave the DVD there, and then it would be the person who lived there. It would be their responsibility to take it somewhere else and watch it with them, and then they would have to leave it at that house, and then the cycle would have to keep going.
Yeah, we got into this weird habit of like going over to a friend's house, going out, finding a terrible $5 DVD, and leaving it at whoever's house. Because we did that
Yeah.
with Roxy Hunter
Yes.
and the Moody Ghost. That's mine.
Yep.
Didn't we also do that with the girl with the dragon tattoo parody?
Who left through time and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's
The one with a
I
really
wasn't there for
stupid
that
title.
one.
that.
Oh.
Yeah, you was for the best. That was a terrible movie.
Still want to see it.
Oh, there's
But like Vampires Suck though was like on a level of like this is a stupid movie, but I can kind of enjoy it only because I could tell exactly what was going to happen in every scene to the point where Dale was like, "Pete, are you one of the writers for this fucking film?"
because there's
and
a
I'm
part,
just like-
it's the parody of the scene where they're running through the woods at like superhuman speed. And Pete's just like, look, they're just going to be on a Segway. And then 2 seconds later, they round a corner out from some bushes and they're on a Segway. And I'm just like... And there was like, yeah, like 2 other times where you're like, it's just going to be this. And then it happened. I'm just like...
It was just so funny. Like, because it wasn't funny because the movie was funny. It was funny because we thought of the stupidest things that it could actually be. And that's what it turned out to be.
I think Pete's just clairvoyant.
Might be. But only with
But
bad
yeah.
movies.
That's why Dale keeps trying to get me to watch them.
Yeah.
As he should.
Because bad movies are great.
Yes.
They are.
Live in the garbage. Become one with the garbage.
You become the trash.
Yeah, so what's another one, Sibs? What you got?
My favorite, so bad it's good, but most people still think it's terrible. Jaws 4, The Revenge.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
I saw that.
The collective Jaws movies have always been like my go-to like binge if I just need noise, if I don't necessarily want to really pay attention to what's going on, just to kind of chill and whatever. And like it was also like my go-to background noise when I was studying for exams and stuff in college. And I mean, everybody always rails on the 4th one being the worst one. I will still stand by the argument that the 3rd one is the worst one because
I feel like it
giant
has this-
shark at SeaWorld.
No, that's
Yeah.
funny though. I
I've
like
only
that.
seen 1 and 4.
I've seen the first.
The first 2 are the only good ones. The 3rd one is The 4th one
Yeah.
is really not great, but at least the shark is in a place where it actually would potentially be in terms of like there being warm water in the Bahamas. I mean, all the rest of them, I mean, yeah, maybe Florida too because of SeaWorld, but the first 2, it's up in New York.
Hey, we got sharks up here sometimes.
Yeah, but not typically great whites. They do occasionally, but they're very atypical.
Yeah. That's fair.
But off of the vein of that, The Meg.
Oh,
I
God.
love that movie.
I wanted to.
It's so good. It's so good.
bad.
It's
good.
so good.
It's good as an action movie. It's not good as an anything else movie.
It's so funny too.
God, what's
like,
his name
oh
in
my
it,
god.
Jason Statham.
Yes.
Yeah.
My
Yes.
favorite actor.
Like when I saw the Meg in commercials, I was like, I need to see this in theaters.
It's like everything that Jaws 3 was supposed to be. I mean, it's a shark at a It's like supposed to be a SeaWorld type place.
Okay.
Jaws 3 is at SeaWorld, and it's a giant shark. I mean, it's the same freaking movie.
You know what I love
But one
about...
is comedic and the other one's not.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know what I thought was really good about the Meg that I kind of wish they expanded upon was that whole subterranean water world. Because the whole point is that the Meg comes from an underwater world. Because there's this whole sediment that's on top of a current that makes it look like it's solid ground, but if you were to stand on it, you'd sink through it because it's actually just floating on top of another substream.
The fact that you remember that much about that movie is concerning.
It's such a good movie!
It's really
And,
not.
It's such a good movie. Go watch it. Okay,
I'll
maybe I
stick
do
to
like
my Jaws
bad
4,
movies.
thanks.
I was speaking of your Jaws 4 though. I was going to try to say that I feel like it has the similar issue with Superman 4, because it's just like at that point I feel like they're just coattailing off the success of the predecessors.
Wait, was that the
Well-
Superman where he just became evil or whatever, or like a dick?
You know, I can't even remember. I just remember being bad. I watched the first two; they're amazing. The third one was fourth one's terrible. Like
Are
to the
these,
point
the
where I
old
think
Superman ones were like.
yeah,
Okay.
with Christopher Reeve.
Reeves,
Yeah,
yeah.
because he had 4 movies, and after the fourth one, that was it because it was just so bad. But yeah, the first 2 were great. Third one was meh, similar sense of Jaws, and then the fourth one is just dumb.
Yeah, it's always bad when you get to 4.
Yeah, that's why trilogies are where everyone stops. They're like, all right,
Unless you're
that's
Fast
it.
and Furious.
Unless you're
Yeah.
fat. No, this is how
or
they.
Harry
this is,
Potter.
well, Harry Potter is based off of the
Yeah,
book,
had,
so
like,
they
the
get
book
away
series
with
they
it.
go off of. But Fast and Furious
But-
is just like we're on number 9 now, so.
But the way they get around the curse is because they don't call themselves Fast and Furious. They have a stupid naming convention, which
They're
is
F9.
amazing.
Yeah.
They're F9.
That's the new one.
The next one's
There's
just gonna be
Fast
called
5.
10. The next one's just
They're
gonna
not
be
even
called 10.
They're not even
It's not even
try.
gonna have.
It's 10.
It's gonna be
not gonna be Fast or
fast.
Furious. It's not even gonna have any words. It's just gonna be numbers.
It's gonna be a
Letter F.
symbol. It's gonna be a symbol, like Prince's old symbol.
It's like, oh, imagine if someone does do that, like with a movie in general. How are you gonna put that on your movie shelf?
I mean, but those movies too. They're not
yeah.
good movies. But they're good action movies. But as movies
Yeah.
as a whole, like the plots are not great. The acting's mediocre.
Remember they were just
The-
about
it-
street racing and like.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
whole thing is you can only do so much with that when
I
you're
mean-
I know,
ridiculous.
But now they're like flying cars and shit. Apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, the acting does get better the further along it gets. I think
Yeah.
mostly because they figured, oh, people are actually watching these. Maybe we should make the script a little better and give them something to play with. But yeah, I mean, they're popcorn movies. They're not supposed
Yeah.
to be like great cinema. They're just supposed to be there for entertainment value.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Tokyo Drift was like the best because I'm biased. 'cause
A
I'm
little
nerd.
bit.
Yeah,
The
I was
new
actually
one-
discussing this with one of my friends, Matt, and he said the same thing. He's like, "Oh man, I love Tokyo Drift," and I'm like, "Yeah, I wonder why."
I was gonna say the new one has an invisible enemy.
What?
Yeah, it's played by John Cena.
Oh.
Oh,
Damn it.
damn it! Oh, get out of here!
Like,
But
is that like
John
a video
Cena is
game?
actually in the new movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Is he really the villain?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
plays,
he's playing
God.
Vin Diesel's character's brother
Yes,
or something.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of action popcorn movies, Roadhouse.
Roadhouse is another great movie. Who hates that movie?
I've never seen it, so
It-
Yeah, I
I'll keep
saw
my
it, like, once
commentary
on
to
TV.
myself.
The premise is ridiculous. The love story it's just out of nowhere.
Yeah, that I didn't really care for the love story,
And
but the setting
fact
is
that there's
great.
no cops until the very end of the movie. Like, what is going on in this fucking town? So
It's run by I wouldn't say a mafia boss. It's run by a guy who's just really rich and can pay for people to kill you.
yeah, so an 80s villain.
Yeah, he's a very 80s villain.
Yeah, but
Cartoonish.
it's basically this movie is about bouncers, I guess.
Yeah, it's about
Patrick
a guy who
Swayze.
cleans up bars that are too rowdy.
Yeah, and he's like this famous bouncer, and so he gets hired to go work at this place that's just an absolute disaster. Like, someone gets stabbed like every night, and yeah, it's just so weird. It's a
so
strange
good
movie.
though. It's so good.
So
Don't
bad
you be
it's
dissing on Patrick Swayze.
so bad it's good. The Grindhouse movies that came out in the early 2000s, Planet Terror, and Death
Yeah.
Proof.
Never saw him.
So good.
I saw
Death
them
Proof
once.
is amazingly good.
Those were a double feature when they came out, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a long double feature.
Cause yeah, Death Proof is really long, or at least it feels really long.
But it's so good. The them playing the game on the car and then him chasing them. So
Yeah.
good. That's what happens when you hire actual stunt people to play your main character, though. It
Oh,
can
yeah.
go really well.
That scene where the girl's on the hood of the car while he's driving like 100 miles an hour, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
like I was getting like anxiety watching that. I'm like, she's gonna die for real.
They probably would have kept it in the movie, to be fair.
Yeah,
At that point they'd probably ask, because I remember there was a historic movie I watched in college about gladiators and stuff, and one of the people who was a guard got run over in during the movie and was killed, and they asked the family if they can keep that in, and the family said, well, they obviously said they would compensate them
Yeah.
for his parts and everything, and they agreed to it. So you legitimately watched somebody die in a movie.
I think
Jeez.
I've heard that story before. I think it was actually debunked.
Oh well,
Because it was oh god, what was the movie?
I don't remember.
Yeah, but
It was
anyway,
a long time ago in college, and my teacher is the one who told me it. So I was like, "Cool, we're gonna watch someone die."
Yeah, I was always more of a Planet Terror person though. I like
That was a fun one, too.
my favorite part. One of my favorite parts in that movie is like they're all hiding out at this bar or whatever, and then the two main characters start to have sex, and then the film burns. And when
Yeah.
when it gets back to the movie, everything's on fire. Like 3 characters are dead. A
Yep.
bunch of people had like incredible like plot revelations. Like there's a like the, yeah like the main
Everything
character-
important happened when the film was damaged.
Yeah, because like there's like the main
How did we
character.
get here? Damage the film.
Yeah, something happened.
Exactly.
That is like the definition of Deus Ex Machina. It's
'Cause-
like without the fucking machina.
Yeah, because
Save 4 hours worth of exposition just by cutting the film away.
Because yeah, that like the whole thing was like the main character El Rey, like there's this dude who doesn't trust him, and when it cuts back, like the guy who doesn't trust him is dying and bleeding out, and he's like, "I'm sorry, if I had known you were the El Rey, I wouldn't have been such a dick to you."
Yeah.
Ugh. And then he dies. Oh god, such a good movie. I just love that part where they're like, "Yeah, we killed Saddam Hussein and became zombies or something." Like, such a weird movie.
So entertaining, though.
Also, the trailers.
Yes.
I wanted more of those to come out. I wanted Nazi Werewolf Women of the SS, directed by Rob Zombie.
I mean,
my
it's
God.
not like there isn't a song. He did do a song.
Oh, he did? I haven't
Yeah.
heard. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, and it was really awkward because then one year I was actually at a Rob Zombie show at a Mayhem Fest, and there was some girl who claimed she was cosplaying as a character from the music video, and it's like, you can't cosplay as a person playing somebody from that movie and have an actual swastika on your clothes. not cool. And she got called out by the bikers at the show, and she was like maybe like 19 or 20, so it was a really great and entertaining thing that happened that day.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's like, don't piss off the angry metalhead bikers. No.
Yeah.
Not a good move.
Also, there was that one trailer that almost got the movie an X rating.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it almost got pushed from R to X because of the Thanksgiving movie trailer. Because there's a part where there's a girl jumping on a trampoline, and then as she's about to do a split on the trampoline, a knife pops through it.
Yeah.
And they originally had that in, and they had to cut it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I took so that movie, I saw it in theaters, the double feature, and my cousins had wanted to go. So, well, when did it come out? I theoretically could have taken them, but my grandma was the one watching them that weekend, so we convinced my grandma to take me and my cousins to go see Grindhouse.
Oh my god.
It went
Oh my
over.
God.
It did not go over terribly. She actually watched the whole thing.
Well,
That doesn't
then.
mean it's a good thing, though.
No.
Hey, when she told me that she liked musicals, I brought over the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and she told me she loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
She
that's
also requested that I bring over the movie Misery for her to watch because she heard really good things about Kathy Bates.
Oh god.
And mind you, like, my grandma never watched horror movies, and she loved Misery for whatever reason. So it was like, all right, I guess you really were
It's
into
not
Kathy
like
Bates.
It's not really like a bloody
Yeah, but-
gore
but-
horror movie.
Except for the hobbling scene.
Well, yeah. That's
Yeah.
true. I forgot about that.
I mean, they do that in the play that was on Broadway, too. That one had everyone in the crowd gasping because most people figured they weren't going to have it in the play, but of course they did.
But anyway, we're getting off topic.
Sorry.
It's all good. Oh boy.
Any others for Edward?
Okay, this is the dumbest movie, but I love it, and you guys probably never even heard of it.
Okay.
It's called The Stupids.
The Stupids.
Yes. Nope.
What is
I
that?
feel like I've heard the name.
It's a movie starring Tom Arnold,
Sounds about right for the name of the movie.
and basically they're just like the dumbest family ever. And like the dad, Tom Arnold, works like a post office a mailman, and like instead of putting like the mail in the mailbox, he's like, oh hey look, it's this number, and he'll put it into like the storm drain and start like walking
Oh
away.
my God. Okay.
And like one part of the film, they're like, honey, did you put the garbage out again? Oh god, yes I did. Who steals another man's garbage? Like,
What the fuck?
and then
So
this-
it's almost like a cartoonish stupid.
yes, it's a cartoonish movie, and then eventually they get like messed up in like this crazy government plot to sell weapons to like other countries. What was it? It's been a while since I've seen this movie, but it's just such one of those funny fucking movies that I loved as a kid. And they're trying to kill now Tom Arnold throughout the whole movie. And like,
Like,
what's up?
is he too cartoonishly stupid to
Yes.
be killed?
Yes.
Oh man,
They
he's
like
a
they
gay
put a
character.
bomb in his car. And
Did it have like a clock on it and everything?
I forget. It's been a while. It probably did. But like he got like a note from his family that said beware the drive B, because they were in like the newspaper office and accidentally messed up a computer that said error in drive B. So he got that memo. So all of a sudden a bee comes into his car. He's like, stupid bee, I'm trying to drive. And like he looks at the camera and goes, oh no, the drive bee.
What the fuck?
So like he gets out of the car, starts like flinging his arms around. He takes off his shoe because the bee lands on the hood, and he just smacks the bee, and the car blows up.
Oh my God.
So he's just standing there, the car's blowing up. He's like, "That's some good shoe."
That's some good shoe.
That
Or just,
does
like-
sound like a good stupid movie.
It is so funny. Like at one part they're in a planetarium, but they think they're dead. And the janitor comes in. He's like, "Are you the Lord?" He's like, "No, I'm Lloyd." It's like they're just going on with this guy, thinking he's God. And
Oh
like,
my God.
And like he's like, okay, you can leave now. It's like, we can go back. He's like, Yeah. Like, oh, you're so merciful. It was so good. It's just so dumb and stupid and bad that I loved it. I have it,
That sounds good.
so we could watch it if you want.
You might have to. One
Okay.
day. Like, find a day to do that. Movie night again.
Yes.
This
Man.
time, hopefully, I'll actually make it.
You missed a great movie.
Yeah, I know. Dan was telling me all about it. I'm like, God, I wanted to watch it.
There's a movie. It's got Dan Aykroyd in it.
Okay.
Fuck, I'm trying to remember
Never
the
seen
name of it. It's a very controversial, bad movie.
Christmas with the Cranks.
No. Fuck, vamp for a second while I try and find it.
We can move on to something else while you look for that.
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
Um,
I can talk about. So there's a TV show that was okay. This show was so bad, like, but I watched every episode, and I only recently found out that there's a movie for it that I didn't know because it was like, because the show was canceled like after every season, but it ended up being so popular, even though it was terrible, that they kept bringing it back.
okay.
It's called Drawn Together.
Yes. I have that
Yeah.
on my list too.
So, yes, Drawn Together, so then you know, is a cartoon reality show where they have like spoof characters from like our real world media, like all together, like Xander's The Legend of Zelda's Link. They had like Betty Boop,
Betty
and
Boop
they had
one. Pikachu.
They have and Superman.
Oh, Ling Ling is his
and-
name, right?
Yeah, Ling Ling was the
Pikachu.
Pikachu clone. They had the Superman version of their world, and they were all together. And there's like a bunch of other characters.
And like the princess, and then the Foxy. Like,
Foxy
literally
Liv.
Foxy, yeah.
yeah, Princess Clara, Waldor.
Was
that show was
actually bad?
It was so. It was.
It was
bad.
stupid.
Like,
It was pretty bad.
like
But
it was a
just
bit.
funny.
Like, cause that show like pulled no punches, but to a degree of like absurdity. Like, they didn't really have I mean, they like, if you watch it like with a very, very open mind, like every episode did have a kind of message. It's just that the message was almost always lost amongst the comedy and raunchiness of the show. It was just like so much, like literally there's an entire episode dedicated to one of the characters masturbating. That's the entire show episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all right then.
Yeah. But like they also talked about things like that nobody really talked about. Like, they were one of the, like, I didn't know this because I went back to it recently, and like they were one of the first shows to call out Bill Cosby
Oh, really?
with his bullshit, because they had a Fat Albert parody episode.
I don't remember that.
And the characters were like the characters of Fat Albert, their version of Fat Albert, was accused of like raping Foxy Love, and towards the end it turns out they didn't, and they're like, yeah, we're just made by Bill Cosby, we don't actually do the things he does. And I'm just like, oh my god, this was a long time ago, and you know.
Yeah.
But apparently the rumors of that had been circulating for a long time before it got to the public.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I found the
So,
movie.
what is it?
Nothing But Trouble.
Nothing But Trouble. Let me see.
Have any of you seen this movie?
No.
Check.
So it's about it. It's an all-star cast. It's got Chevy Chase, Demi Moore, Dan Aykroyd, John Candy.
Yes, I have seen this. This is that movie where it's like a monstrous mansion, right?
Yeah, it's like this huge mansion in like a junkyard,
Yeah.
and
No, I haven't seen this.
everyone
It's
is
a-
super weird and creepy.
Yes.
And it's a very much like love it or hate it movie. It has like a weird following, and it's just like Dan Aykroyd plays this 106-year-old judge with like a nose that looks like a penis, and he's like ancient and decrepit, and yeah, what is it? It's Chevy Chase and Demi Moore play as like two yuppies from New York who get lost in the sticks, and John Candy, I think, pulls them over, and it's this whole thing where like they violated like some small law, and they end up getting brought to this manor, and it's just them trying to survive amongst these like super weirdos.
Dale, this is one of the movies. Like, it's not like, I know we were discussing before the podcast, like the one that I couldn't find, but this is one of the movies I watched same day. I remember watching this movie just before the movie that I was telling you about, the one I can't find.
That's so weird.
Yeah, this is the first movie I watched because it was on TV. Oh God, now I feel like I'm getting closer. Dale, I feel like I'm getting closer to finding the movie I was talking about.
You're about to find out. Yeah, there's like also John Candy plays two characters. He plays the sheriff, and he also plays a mute woman that falls in love with Chevy Chase. And yeah, it's just weird. Like at some point, oh God, what's his fucking name? Digital Underground show up with Tupac.
Okay.
Yeah, like they also get lost and end up there, and they straight up just have a scene where Tupac and Digital Underground perform for Dan Aykroyd's character.
Okay.
And there's also like two obese, bald, mutated baby men living in the junkyard that fall in love with Demi Moore. And there's like this group of assholes that also get lost, and they end up put onto a roller coaster called Mr. Bone Stripper. And it just tears off all their organic bits and just flings out the bones, and it's just a weird fucking movie.
Yeah, it is a weird movie. I remember, like, I remember the last scene most of all, which was like him being like running through a wall, like comically.
Yeah, like there's a part where like they end up blowing up the mansion because it's got a bunch of oil underneath it, and they're watching the news. It's like, yeah, like in this nothing town, a mansion exploded and they found a bunch of oil, so now they're rich. What are you gonna do next? And then it cuts to Dan Aykroyd's character holding Chevy Chase's ID, which has his address on it. He's like, I'm gonna go pay a visit to my grandson. And then Chevy Chase jumps out of his chair and jumps through a wall, and there's just a Chevy Chase like Running Man position hole in the wall, and he's like, nope, I'm out of here.
Like, it is like there's no like Dale said, there's no circular hole. It's just like it's like someone put him against the wall and chalk outline to cut it out.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh my God, this movie.
that's a weird fucking movie. It's also just gross. Like there's a part where they're eating like these gray sausages that just look like old and rotted.
Yeah, definitely a gross movie. It's probably why I don't really watch it anymore, but I watched it when I was younger.
So yeah, what else do we got?
I could
What
bring
you
up.
got for us, Sibs?
Nope. Go ahead.
I don't think I have anything else. I don't really.
You're just here for moral support.
Yeah.
What about The Wicker Man starring
Never saw
Nicolas
it. I
Cage.
heard it's
Nicolas
terrible.
Cage,
Never
yes.
seen it.
Never watched it.
It was.
it's great. There's a part
I
where
mean-
Nick Cage runs around in a bear suit punching women. It's great.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's got like weirdly sexist like undertones to it.
The only thing I know about that movie is not the bees. That's
Yep.
all I know.
How
Killing me.
about? Is it? I'm trying to think of which really, really bad adaptation of a Stephen King movie. The Langoliers. That's
yes,
the
I
one.
remember
God.
that movie.
What's that?
So it's an adaptation of one of his short story type things. But basically, the movie is most famous for these horribly animated monsters, the Langoliers. And they're basically like these they're like balls with teeth that just kind of
Yeah.
fly around and chomp on people.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like
What,
the
they eat-
animation is awful.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now.
They eat,
Actually,
like,
it
past
looks
time or
terrible.
something like that.
Yeah.
Some kind of weird fourth dimension thing.
It's
Yeah.
not one of the better stories, for sure.
It's
But-
like, what's it called? What's that one with the cars?
I was just gonna
machines.
look that up.
I can't remember the name of that one.
Christine?
What's up?
Which one with the cars?
Where the cars become like possessed.
That's Christine.
No,
No,
it's
no,
like
there's
all
another one.
technology. And
It's like all
vehicles.
technology, excuse me, yeah.
Oh, I don't know then. But
Like there's like a bunch of people stuck in like a gas station. And I remember the one truck had like a green clown or not, like a green goblin face on it or something.
Maximum Overdrive.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a
That
part. Stephen King has a cameo in that movie where he
Stephen
plays
King
a
has
guy.
a cameo in all of his movies.
Yeah.
Fair
He's
enough.
in everything.
But his cameo in that one is that he goes to an ATM and the ATM just eats his card and calls him a loser.
Forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's God. It's a weird. It's another one that's just like it's so bad. There's
But
a
yeah,
part where
the
a woman-
animation in the Langoliers is just ugh,
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I saw-
that's
awful.
I saw it because it was like on TV at like 6 in the morning once when I was getting ready for school.
Yeah,
and I'm just
that's
like,
about
"What
when
is
it's supposed
this?"
to be on television.
Yep. I remember being
Yeah.
homesick and it being on like Sci-Fi Channel like 12 or 1 in the afternoon,
I mean,
where no one's gonna see it.
yeah, well, I mean, if you think about it, like, some of his adaptations are really good, and other ones are just like, why?
Yeah.
Well,
Or
that
like,
was-
or like, it tries a lot harder than it should.
Mm-hmm.
well, the problem with the Maximum Overdrive is that he was directing it, and it was during his period where he was like really out of it on drugs.
It was also
he-
the only one that he ever directed, so
Yeah,
I guess that kind of says something for his talents as a director.
yeah, he doesn't remember anything about directing it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, I directed that, don't remember any of it, because I was way out of it on coke.
I wouldn't say it was acceptable. I'd just say it wasn't frowned upon back then.
80s, yeah. Coke was very popular in the 80s.
Indeed.
What a time.
And you were not alive for any of it, Dale.
That's true. E- Even though I love 80s movies.
That's his past life was the in the 80s.
Yes.
Maybe people need
He
to
died
start
of
doing
cocaine,
more coke.
reincarnated. I found a new movie to make.
So should we talk about, since the new one's coming out, the original Mortal Kombat movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That movie is.
It's a movie.
Okay, we're not going to talk about the second one because that's just straight bad.
Yeah.
But the first one is so good, though.
My favorite thing about that movie is that Christopher Lambert has the weirdest accent in that movie. Where he's just like, God, what was his name? The villain.
Shao Kahn?
No, Shao Kahn's the second one.
The second.
Oh yeah, from
Shang Tsung.
the
Shang Tsung's like,
Shang-
Shang Tsung, your ninjas have attacked my fighters. It's like, what are you going for? What is
like
this
you don't even-
accent?
I mean, look at the movie that it's in. He'll do
Yeah, that's
whatever he
fair.
wants.
If I found out a god sounded like that, I would question existence.
Actually, it would make existence would make perfect sense for me.
But yeah, it's just such a great movie because it's like, it's just perfect. The dialogue
Yeah.
is stupid. The action's okay.
It's campy as hell, and it has all your favorite characters.
Like Reptile,
Yeah.
that really awful CG Reptile.
Wasn't that the second one? Or was that?
Nope. That's the first one. Happens
That's
in like
the
the
first
latter
one.
half of the movie.
Okay.
They have Goro.
Oh yeah, they had the incredible Jim Henson production. I think it was. Yeah, and just great lines like "Those were $500 sunglasses, asshole," or
Love that.
300 or whatever.
It doesn't matter. They're still too expensive regardless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're just completely normal sunglasses.
They just have a stamp on it that says company.
Product.
But you know what? If somebody spends more than $100, scratch that. If someone spends more than like $80 on a pair of sunglasses, I feel like you're missing out on what's really important in life.
Yeah.
Like cocaine.
Yeah.
I'll
That could get you-
take expensive sunglasses over cocaine. Thank you very much.
But seriously, that's like, I know it's gonna be a little sidetrack, but I remember I used to play football like in the neighborhood with all my neighbors and friends, and one of my friends had it was a $50 pair of sunglasses, so not as bad.
It's
but
inflation.
I'm still like, why do you have a $50 pair of sunglasses? And then he broke them while we're playing football. I'm like, well, what'd you fucking expect? And then he got so mad he took them and just threw them to the ground. And he's like, fuck, damn it. I'm like, well, looks like you're out $50. I'm going to wear my $2 pair of sunglasses that I've had for 17 years.
See, that's the smart thing. But see, like, I have my cheapies for, like, if I'm actually doing something where they might get broken. But I also have my nice sunglasses in my car.
I have.
And I buy
but
them
they're
at the
both,
outlets, so they're still cheaper than they would have been otherwise.
Yeah, mine are like prescription sunglasses, so they're like I got them for like
So
maybe
they
$30 or $50.
Oh yeah,
That's
that
still
makes sense if you
not
need them
bad.
for prescription, because then
Yeah.
you're stuck paying more whether you want to or not.
Yes.
The fact that you got prescription on those and it's still only about $40 is like really good.
Oh, yeah, I use a website that does like really cheap stuff. Well, not the
So-
glasses
So they're
aren't
the
cheap, but, like, the
equivalent
prices
of
are cheap.
$2.
Yes.
So, speaking of cocaine and ninjas,
Okay.
I don't remember the ninja part, but all right.
Mortal Kombat.
It's no ninjas.
What are you Okay.
No, we didn't say ninja. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, Mortal Kombat, yeah. No, I said
Alright.
ninjas. Your ninjas attack
Cocaine
my fighters.
ninjas.
Anyway, cocaine
Yeah.
ninjas. Has anyone ever seen Miami Connection?
Nope.
No.
It's a great movie from the 80s about, let me just read this opening sentence. A cocaine deal in Miami is interrupted by a group of motorcycle-riding ninjas led by Ishido, who steals the drugs and rides back to Orlando to party.
Oh
my god.
God.
Yeah, it's about a group of orphans who form a band together called Dragon Sound, and after like a fight at a party, they get involved with these ninjas, and for some reason, one of them like is super good at karate. So it just becomes about this like group of orphans fighting ninjas over drugs, and yeah.
Sounds perfectly logical.
This sounds
Yeah.
like if like the Foot Clan from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was just like, we're leaving New York and we're gonna find better pastures.
Yeah, more or less. But yeah, it's just it feels like one of those movies where it was made because like the guy, again, I think it was another like the main character was the director, and it really just feels like, hey guys, I'm really good at karate. Let's make a movie where I fight a bunch of ninjas, and everyone just said it yes.
This is why everyone needs at least one no man. Because no one's gonna want to speak up and say no if nobody else is going to. But once you get one, the truth comes out. Everybody needs one friend who's like, maybe we shouldn't.
There's also like a rival band who have connections with the ninjas or something. It's dumb. But yeah. Anyone else got
Sounds like-
something?
What do you want, movie or TV?
Let's go with TV. We've been doing a lot of movies.
All right.
Yeah, I think the only TV we brought up is the Drawn Together.
So we could talk about like, classic tokusatsu. That stuff is campy and funny as hell. Which, if people don't know, tokusatsu is like Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, the Japanese Spider-Man series.
Oh my god. Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's pretty funny, the Japanese Spider-Man one. He gets like, oh god, I'm trying to remember exactly how it happened. He gets like his powers from like a talking spider, and he doesn't get bit. He just gives like a morpher. It's
Well,
It's almost
then.
like it's Japanese. There you go.
yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And like Kamen Rider, there's a bunch of like really stupid, campy stuff. One of my favorite though is Starfish Hitler.
Okay.
It's legitimately a starfish monster that looks like Hitler.
Okay then.
Interesting.
What is Japan's deal with their hard-on for like
don't know.
Nazi like things? Is it because that they used to be in a relationship with them?
It could be.
God,
I
that's
mean-
so weird.
I hate that, you know, Nazis had the armband, because the armband is a cool look. It's just
Yeah.
no
Well,
one could ever do it again.
Exactly.
Well, the thing is, like, the symbol was originally a Buddhist symbol.
yeah,
they
it was
just literally flipped
changed
it.
a different way.
Yeah, they just
Yeah,
reversed
they
it.
literally they like mirrored it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So it's like faced the opposite way now.
Like one of the little
But it's-
charms I got in Japan from my grandmother has it on it. She's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "No, it's a Buddhist symbol. Don't worry."
Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody not a lot of people in today's current life knows that.
Well, 'cause
Yeah.
the thing is,
Kinda sad.
if you just see it quickly, it doesn't automatically register in your head which way it's facing, if it's the right one or the bad one.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
automatically like, "Oh, that's a bad thing."
Oh, that was like I was rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho on Funimation, and it was the part. It's the parts where they're doing the tournament to see who gets to train with Genkai,
Oh yeah.
and the one guy has the symbol on his forehead, and I'm like, oh, that didn't used to be there when I watched this the first few times.
Well, yeah, that's because back then it was on Toonami, and Toonami can't have.
It was on
that.
Adult Swim,
Let's
Wow.
but yeah,
Okay.
same concept.
yeah.
But yeah, I was like,
I-
oh, that's a thing.
Or in Pete's
thought it
case,
was-
you buy a knife that has a swastika
damn
on
it.
it and you don't notice.
Once again, Dale brings. I mean, I really appreciate the fact that you like told me that when we were there. I
Yeah.
didn't notice it on the hilt. I didn't notice it on the not the hilt, the sheath
Pommel.
of the sword. Yeah, the pommel. I didn't notice it on the pommel. I couldn't remember the word.
Yeah.
I'm glad somebody did, because that would have been a real awkward conversation. Because I have a military family that fought in World War II, Nam, and World War I, and if I came home with Nazi paraphernalia, they'd probably beat me.
We
Yeah.
wouldn't be talking to
Use
you
the
right
knife.
now, Pete.
Yeah, basically, so we were at a convention and Pete bought a knife, and it was a pretty nice knife.
It was the blade was beautiful. That's why I liked it.
And it was the last day. It was Sunday. It was like an hour to closing, and I'm tying my shoes, and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, I see the swastika on the pommel. I'm like, Pete, why did you buy a fucking Nazi dagger? And he's like, what? Yeah. So then it was a
So,
rush
yeah.
to the
It was a rush to get back to the dealer's hall to return it for a different weapon.
Yeah.
And did you point it out to them, and what did they say?
I did. I said I gave it back to the woman. I said, yeah, when I bought this, I didn't realize it was like a Nazi sword, and I showed it to the person and pointed at the swastika, and she's like, oh my gosh. I mean, she's like, and she's like, well, I mean, I just work here, so I don't know where they got this from. I'm like, that's okay. I just want to get a different one. She's like, understandable. I'm not even gonna question you. I'll just take that.
Even trade.
Like, I ended up buying an old English sword instead. Actually, looking at it right
Good
now. on
good
my sword
decision.
rack. Yeah.
So we talked about it a bit before the episode, but Deep Blue Sea.
Oh
we
yeah.
we almost started
Yeah.
because we started talking before the podcast even started. I was like, all right, hold on, let's start the podcast. But yes, Deep Blue Sea, great movie. I'm really glad that times are changing. The black guy survived at the end, and they killed the bitch.
Yup.
Fuck that bitch. Dale, you want to tell that part again since you
Yeah.
brought it up?
So originally, when they first filmed the movie, she was supposed to live. I can't remember. I think it was
The scientist.
Saffron Burrows was the actress, and yeah, her character was supposed to live alongside the male lead, and everyone fell in love with LL Cool J's religious parrot-owning chef, and everyone loved him, and he died at some point, and they showed it to the test audience, and they were just like, man, fuck that woman, I hate her, she's awful, she's a heartless monster, why'd you kill LL Cool J? And
Yeah, right?
so they reshot the last few scenes in the movie to have her die instead. And LL Cool J survives.
As he
And
should.
that was like it was the greatest ending. Because I remember when I first saw that, I was like, this bitch better get what's fucking coming to her. And then when she got eaten by the shark, I was like, yes, fuck you, you bitch. I was so happy. And the fact that LL Cool J lived, I was like, oh, thank Jesus.
Yeah, also Stellan Skarsgård was in it. Samuel Jackson was in it.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
the
when
best scene
Samuel
in the
L.
movie.
Jackson...
Where he gives this big, rousing speech. He's like, we're gonna make it. We're gonna live. And the shark just jumps out of the water and bites him in half.
It's so
Best.
fucking good.
That movie's fantastic.
It is so good. But
How-
it is, I'll admit, it's really dumb, but I love it.
Yeah. How about Ghost Ship?
Oh,
seen
we're
that
going to
one.
bring up Ghost Ship again.
It's only good for the opening scene. The rest of the movie is awful.
Yeah, I've never
Because
seen it.
so the beginning of the movie, there's, I guess it's like a cruise ship type thing,
Okay.
and there's like a party going on in the ballroom, and everybody's dancing, and all of a sudden, so this little girl is dancing with the captain of the ship, and all of a sudden there's this wire that like gets tripped, and it starts to unravel, and it basically just gets ripped across the dance floor and beheads everyone except for this little girl because she's too short for where the wire was.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a terrible movie after that. The opening scene is great. The rest of it's just awful. It's the only thing that stands out about that movie is the opening scene. It has a great
Everything
cast,
else.
but it's a terrible movie.
And then everything else is forgettable.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, like, Carl Urban's in it. Juliana Margulies is in it.
What about...
I feel. You know what, Sibs? You just reminded me. I guess I could bring it up during the podcast. Is like we should have a discussion about shows, movies that start off great and then just like flop at the end. Like that would be a good topic.
All right.
Yeah.
Like my as you guys know, my secretary Timmons, she's the one who brought up the idea to me, and I was like, that's a really good idea, Timmons.
Oh, Simmons.
She was upset because she thought I fired her. She's like, I forgot why she thought that. She's like, she's like telling everybody Pete fired me from being his secretary. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, it's another great movie. Face Off.
Oh man, like that movie Face Off.
Yep, just like that movie Face Off. Who here hasn't seen Face Off?
I actually have not.
I have, but it's been a very
if
long
Rob Lowe
time.
was here,
It's been a
he can
while.
go off with you, but
Yeah, it's great. Anyone who hasn't seen it, it's about a terrorist, and John Travolta plays like a FBI super cop who takes him down. And they're like, we gotta find out what his plan was. So they remove, why do I keep forgetting his name?
Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage.
Cage.
Nicolas Cage. God.
He's so bad.
He's-
He's stupid.
They remove Nicolas Cage's face and swap it with his. In the worst plan, because they're not even the same height. They're not the same build. And yeah, it's a great movie. It's terrible. But yeah,
I mean,
I'm gonna take his face off.
I mean, I don't know if you heard Freddie. He has a good point. Nicolas Cage is pretty much the embodiment of so bad it's good.
Yeah, he really is.
That's what happens when you're in every movie ever for like 10 years.
It happens when you never say no to a movie.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Well, except for Crank.
Did he say no to Crank?
He was too expensive for them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So he said yes, but he's like they
His
said, "We'll give
people
you
wouldn't
$1."
let him say yes.
Yeah. I saw that story of when he was in Season of the Witch, I think, where they were like, "Hey, Nick Cage, like, he's like, can my character die in this movie?" And they're like, "Yeah, we can kill off your character at the end." He's like, "Cool. Can I choose how I die? Because I've died in a lot of movies, and I want to try something new." And they're like, "Okay." He's like, "Can I
What
get
do you have in
shot?
mind?
Can I get shot in the eye with an arrow?" I've never died that way in a movie before. I'm just like, I love this man.
Yeah.
when
That
he
sounds
dies, he's gonna get buried in a pyramid. He owns a pyramid.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And a castle. Although I think he lost the castle.
I mean, he
Oh,
is
has
a
anyone
Coppola, so it's not like his family on the whole doesn't have a ton of money anyway.
Did you ever hear that story of a time some drug addict like broke into his house in the middle of the night?
No.
And he just gave him a leather jacket and like just like kind of talked him to, like, it was a robbery, and he just talked the guy down and like gave him a jacket and some money.
He's
Yeah.
like, here you go, buddy.
Whatever works.
Yeah, it works. So
I good, I guess. It's weird, but you know. Has anyone here ever seen? Okay, it's called Cursed. It's a werewolf movie.
No.
nope.
So this movie, when it was first being introduced, like, I thought it was gonna be a ghost movie or something like The Ring almost, because the way they made it look like the character was being possessed or something. So I didn't really know what it was about. And it turned out it was a werewolf movie, and you figure it out really quick. Like, they were trying to keep it secret.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, 5 minutes into the movie, you realize this is a werewolf movie. And I'm like, and so I feel like I was really let down with it. But the movie itself was pretty campy, though, because one of the main characters, who's like a high school kid, gets bit, and he starts exhibiting enhanced strength and abilities. And it's like one of those things where he like gets bullied at school, and then the high school bully like starts bullying him in the gym, and then he like ends up challenging him to a basketball game, and he's like pretending to throw it at his face and stuff, and then he ends up doing the same thing back to the bully. And then at the end, he gets like the kid, not the bully. The kid gets super cocky and starts calling. He's like, maybe if you stop pretending to be gay and everything, like you would, you know, whatever, like be like, you know, live life like a normal person or something. Like he was like calling him gay, like as a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 15 minutes, 20 minutes later in the movie, he shows up at his doorstep, and he's like, man, no one's ever called me out like that before. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then he leans in to make out with him. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm gay. You figured it out. And like, yeah, it was, and he's like, so, and it was so funny, because I'm just like, what? And then at this point is when like revelations in this, like the movie, were starting to happen. So he's like trying to figure out where his sister is, and like the fact that he's cursed with werewolf syndrome. And the gay guy is over here on the side like, listen, this is taking me a really long time to come to terms with myself, and you're not even listening to me. And I'm just like, this movie is really weird, but I enjoy it because it's like, it's like, once again, it's supposed to be a quote unquote horror film, but I can't take it seriously because it's so campy.
I was gonna say, nothing about this sounded like horror.
No, it's exactly. But all the trailers for this movie, when it was coming out, like if you go look up like it's called Cursed from 2005, I think. Hold on, I wrote it down. Yeah, 2005. It's like all the commercials are just like, oh, this crazy stuff is happening in this family of because they're like, the two kids are orphans and they like live together. And like the like, you know, it like had body morphing in the commercial because he was like, I guess I thought it was being possessed, but it was turning into a werewolf. Mm-hmm. And like darkness, and like it just made it look like a horror film. It was not what that movie was about. So I don't know why they had to go with the misdirect.
Yeah, trailers are weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they try to do. But speaking of werewolves, you did remind me of a TV show that I used to watch that was really bad.
Teen Wolf?
No, Teen Wolf was a movie.
They
No,
had a
it's
TV
a
show
show.
too on
They have a
MTV.
But Big Wolf on Campus.
Big Wolf on Campus sounds familiar.
Never
I don't
heard of
think
it.
I've seen it though.
No, it's about like this like, I feel like he was a basketball or football player. So he's one of the big like popular jocks, and he gets bit by a werewolf. So he winds up having to become a werewolf and fight monsters.
Oh
like,
my god,
each
this
week.
is so 90s.
Oh yeah, from like 99 to 2000 something.
Oh my god, the hairstyles.
I know. And then like his best friend was like this weird goth kid who like knew everything. He's like, oh, it's this monster and it's this monster. Like each week was like like a monster of the week type thing. But it was such a stupidly bad show, but it was so good. And like I got so sad when it was canceled.
Aw.
Wow, yeah, the hairstyles, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right? Not only that, he has a werewolf mustache.
Oh my god.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, this looks awful.
It was so good though. It was so good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like shows, because like I don't know, I can't think of any shows that are so bad they're good. Because if I didn't like something, or like it wasn't that good, I just never really committed to it.
Yeah. Like,
Almost
movies are easy to
anything on the
commit to.
CW.
What was that?
Almost anything on the CW. Like, most of those shows, like, they only continue airing them because they get, like, their own little cult followings, and
Yeah.
whether or not the show is worth actually continuing, the show will continue.
Like what? I can't remember what the CW is.
It's
I
what
don't
used
have
to be the
cable.
It's not cable. It's
Used to be
what used to be
WB,
the
but now-
WB.
Yeah.
They currently are home to most of the DC live action series,
Okay.
which are mediocre-ish at best. I mean, they're better than the live action movies they've been doing recently, but that's not saying much.
It's also the one that has the Riverdale, right?
Yeah, which that's a whole different.
Have any of you seen Jupiter Ascending?
No.
Never heard of it.
I've heard of it. Did I ever want
Yeah.
to see it? No.
I watched it. Boy, is it awful. It's about Mila Kunis, who is a Russian, I believe, illegal immigrant who works as a nurse in, I think, Chicago. And then aliens attack and start kidnapping people. And she meets Channing Tatum, a wolf man. And by wolf man, I mean his teeth are just like a bit bigger. And he's got like a more pronounced jawline or something. He had to wear like a mouth guard, which made some of his lines unintelligible. And it turns out that Mila Kunis is actually an alien. But not just any alien. The queen alien.
Did she know that?
No. She just thought she was just this illegal immigrant living in
Oh, wow.
Chicago.
She was actually an illegal alien.
Damn.
Yeah. And yeah, so it's this whole thing where like he's a wolf man, but he used to have wings, but he got demoted,
What?
so they got cut off. So now he
Isn't
just
it
has
Isn't it by the same people that did The Matrix?
Yep, it's by the Wachowskis sisters.
Yeah, I think they were saving all of the good stuff for Sense8 on Netflix, because that was good.
But yeah, and then it turns out she's alien royalty. There's a part where they go to a bee farm and the bees start swarming around her, and the owner of the bee farm is like, yeah, bees can sense royalty.
That's so weird.
It also,
Also, I don't believe them.
the bee farmer was Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
What?
He played Boromir in Lord of
No,
the Rings.
I know who Sean.
He
Bean
dies
is.
in
I'm just like-
everything.
I'm just like, why do they have all these characters?
No, I'm
in
telling
this
Freddie,
weird-ass movie?
because Freddie
Oh,
didn't
okay.
sound like it.
I don't recognize the name, and I didn't like Lord of the Rings, so.
Oh, okay.
He was also Ned Stark in Game of Thrones, and he was in a whole bunch of other stuff where he typically ends up dead.
Yeah, he likes to die, or he. likes
He's
to
very
keep parts
good
where he
at
dies.
dying in things.
Also,
I was just watching the because it's on Netflix right now, Kingsglaive Final Fantasy 15, and he plays the king. It's like, oh,
also
another character that dies.
also in
Even when he voice acts. he-
Yes.
Also in the movie is Terry Gilliam from Monty
Oh, really?
Python. Yeah. But yeah, it's this terrible movie, and she ends up falling in love with Channing Tatum, and there's a line where he's like, I don't see how you could ever love me. She's like, I love dogs. And he just like looks at her and just walks away. She's like, why did I say that? But yeah,
I
it's...
have never seen anything he's in.
Oh, wow. That's kind of impressive.
I was about to say, yeah.
Oh, National Treasure I've seen. And first Silent Hill. That's about it. I don't remember him though.
Oh God, I forgot he was in
Oh
that
my god,
awful movie.
I forgot he's in it, but he's barely in it.
Yeah, he's
Let's
at
be
like the
honest.
beginning and the end.
Yeah.
that's probably why I
Same
don't
thing with
remember.
the first. I like the first one, the first Silent Hill. The second one was trash.
Yeah, it was all right. Oh, yeah, the second one's absolute garbage.
There's only one good scene in the second movie, which is like with the mannequin doll thing. I think they did a good job with that. That scared the shit out of me.
And then Pyramid Head shows up because we can't have Silent Hill without Pyramid Head.
Because he's everyone's favorite sexy villain, I guess.
Never-
I don't fucking know.
Never mind the fact that he was the personification of James's guilt. Anyway.
But yeah, I'm surprised that how much we brought up. Like we're
I
actually
still have a
at,
bunch more I could bring up, but
Oh yeah.
I do too, but we could just have a part 2 one
Part
day.
Well, we also had a super.
Part 2 sounds
Don't
good.
forget, we also had like a 10-minute late start on the recording.
It wasn't 10 minutes. It was about 5. So we're already around the time where we're supposed to stop.
All right, Freddie, give us one last one.
one last one. Spice World.
Never.
That movie
actually, no, I
is
did
a
see it.
gem,
That movie
Freddie.
is so bad it's good.
That
is, like,
movie
my
is a
definition.
gem.
That movie it's bad, but it's hysterical.
It's so 90s and it's perfect.
Does that listen? If you say that, then that means that everything from the 90s is so bad it's good.
Pretty much.
Shit.
In a way.
Oh shit. Oh my god.
had a
I'm
revelation.
Oh my god.
But yes, Spice World, I love it.
I loved it too. It was such a
I almost said I didn't see it, but I was like, wait a minute. I saw it a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everyone has seen it at one point in their life or another, whether or not they remember seeing it.
I've never
Yes.
seen it. I've only heard podcasts about it. Because yeah, Meatloaf plays the bus driver.
bus driver.
Yeah. And,
I can hear your dog snoring now.
sorry.
That timing was perfect.
My dog just ran away from me laughing about your dog.
My dog is napping on my leg right now, so, you know.
All right.
Isn't
But
there a
he
part where
loves
they meet
Spice
aliens?
World too.
Yeah, no, there is a part where
Does
for
he,
some
though?
reason, out of nowhere, aliens, and they just start feeling up one of the Spice Girls.
I mean, hey,
wanna
even
say-
Roger Moore was in it. Like,
Oh,
if you
yeah,
look
yeah.
at the
That's
cast list for that movie, it's everything.
Yeah.
Dominic West was in it. They had Elton John and Elvis Costello in it. They had Bob
Alan Cumming.
Geldof, Hugh Laurie, and Stephen Fry.
God, that's right.
Yeah,
Kinda
I
wild.
mean, everyone was in
I
that
really
movie.
we should rewatch it.
We should.
Bob
I mean, if I can get it
Hoskins.
from the
You
library.
have fun with that.
The Spice Girls are
I'll watch it.
everything.
Oh yeah, Bob Hoskins. Bill Patterson. It's probably God, that cast list was insane.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I've never seen it.
so
I want to see it.
good. It's so bad, it's very good.
Exactly.
So bad it's perfect.
Yes.
Their flaws make them flawless.
I mean, it's all about female empowerment. That movie is awesome.
I do want to say that, like, when the Spice Girls came back for their reunion tour when I was in 12th grade in high school, there was a day that there were no girls in high school. Like, they all went to the show. I'm like, and the only reason I knew is because my friends told me they were going to go see it. And I was like, and I came into school one day, literally there was like no girls in all of the high school. And everybody's like, where did they all go? And I'm like, oh no, they're all going to the concert.
Oh well then.
Well, I think that's about all we have time for today.
Yes. I mean, that was a very good one to end on, I feel.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I passed by it like several times on some lists, and I'm like, I've never seen it, so I'm not gonna bring it up.
We'll have a night.
Yes.
So this has been the So Bad It's Good episode. We will most likely have a sequel to this one because there's so much more we can go over. I want to thank everyone for listening. You can check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Podcast Addict, iTunes, subscribe, all that stuff. So I've been Freddie.
I'm Pete.
I'm Dale, and I have had it with these snakes on this motherfucking podcast.
Sibs.
Tips.
Oh no, she's dead.
Who killed
And
Sibs?
Sibs. Oops.
Oh wait, who are you? Who's that? What?
Huh?
The ghost
Time-
formerly known as Sibs. How's that?
Okay,
There we
okay.
go.
I like it. I like it.
Sibs made it to the end of the podcast. Time to vent Sibs.
All right, everyone. Have a good one.
Later.
Embrace the garbage.
Does the quality of a movie correlate to how bad it can be? Will Dale read a book and find out how trashy they can be?
Will Sibs' dog stay awake through a recording of a podcast? The answer might surprise you.
Find out next time on the podcast.